Hello, I'm Vladimir. I'm a director of product at Hootsuite, and I consider myself a product guy at heart. And here I am to recommend you 5 books that I think will improve your product skills. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I have it right here. This is Inspired by Marty Cagan. Marty is one of the most respected product guys out there. This is a foundational book. And I think every product manager should read it. It goes into detail on what a product manager does. It goes into discussing, for example, the difference between product management and project management. It introduces concepts like the customer council that all the companies use nowadays. So I would say this is a foundational book for anyone who's interested to become a product manager. So that would be the first book. I recommend everyone to read it. The second book that I chose is Value Proposition Design. This is by Strategyzer Group, lots of authors. Is the sequel to the Business Model Generation. And this is a systems book. It introduced some very valuable artifacts like the value map or the business model canvas that could help you in creating a system to get to value with customers. Although some might consider it a beginner book, I think it's useful even for the most advanced product managers out there. For some of you who read the Checklist Manifesto, you will understand how valuable a checklist is. So it may prove useful even for the most advanced product managers. The third book that I chose is called The Cucumber Book. It's written by Matt Wayne, and this is a development QA book on writing automated tests. What this book challenges you is to describe product in terms of user behavior. What is the user trying to do? What is he going after? What are the underlying reason for doing this and that? So instead of describing how a user clicks on a button and on a menu, you are describing the behavior. A user wants to achieve this task in order to increase this KPI that he's going after. The fourth book that I chose is Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull. This is again not a typical product book. This is a book on the story of Pixar, but it's a book about culture, and culture is extremely important for anyone who's interested in strategy. And I'm passionate about strategy, but what I learned about strategy is that strategy relies on people, and to get anything done, you need to inspire your team to go in the same direction. And I think it's fascinating what Ed did at Pixar, because he created such a perfectionist environment, but also in a way that people were not threatened by certain individuals. It was an environment created on extreme candor, without certain people being labeled as jerks or arrogant. And his method of providing almost brutal truths to people working in teams, but doing it with kindness, I think is a huge lesson for a product manager who needs to lead not through authority, but by influence and inspiration. My last choice could be an odd one, is Masters of Doom by David Kushner. This is not a product book. This is not even, an engineering or a design book. This is what I call it's a Tony Robbins book for the product manager. The book tells the story of id Software, which is the company that created Doom, one of the best games in the history of gaming. And you may be a gamer or not, but if you think about that, in a game, every pixel and every sound that happens in that game was designed by someone. Someone thought about doing that particular thing, and everything was debated. It's fascinating to see how such an iconic game came from the work and the collaboration of a handful of individuals. What's fascinating about this book is that it goes into great detail on the social dynamic inside the team, and all the debates and all the personal conflicts that happen inside that team to create one of the best games in the history of gaming. And again, this happens in the 90s when gaming was not the behemoth that is today. When, I don't know, you have companies like EA with tens of thousands of employees. Its software was a studio with a handful of people, and through sheer passion and dedication, they revolutionized the world of gaming. And I think that if this book doesn't inspire you to jump out of bed and create the next killer product, then your job is not in product management. Oh, it's also super fun. I read this book when I was in college, and I almost failed my physics exam because of it. And yeah, I'll continue to recommend it. Those are all my books. I hope you're inspired. Go change the world.